Okay, happy 4th of July, everybody. This is my buddy Hector here. So we're working on him, just did a fade on him, and he likes the option of combing his hair back on occasion, but also like combing his hair forward, like kind of in a spike lift here. So right now it's a little long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet it down, and I'm going to do a combination of clipper work, a little bit of scissor work, and some texturizing here in the front. And I'll explain that later. So I'm going to start by just combing his hair back. Just going to comb the hair straight back. And as opposed to wetting his hair at first, I'm just going to start dry. And what I'm going to work on right now is the crown. I'm going to kind of round off this crown here because I found it a little bit of extra work to have to round off the crown with scissors. But I'm just going to round it off with some light clipper work here. Nothing aggressive. I'm just going to use the Andis Master here. And I'm just going to begin by rounding off, as you can see here, the crown. Just kind of going in a circular motion around what is considered his occipital, the back top high crown occipital area here. As you can see here. And also, there is a tendency of him having these corners just kind of flare out a little bit, and I will also be kind of blending those down. What I'm not doing is I'm not digging the comb too far in here. I'm just kind of gliding. As you can see, I'm just gliding over just like this. While standing here on the side looking straight, I'm gliding. But also, I'm going to stand from behind here, come forward, and just, from my point of view, I can round off a corner. Just round that off here from coming from this angle here. I always think it's really good to work on one side. Look at what you're doing, just like this. And then also move into another direction, another angle here in checking your work. Just like this. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. I'm just going to blend this down. This is called clipper over comb. Clipper over comb. And while I'm standing here, I'm already looking around the corner here, and I can see the edging that needs to be faded in. Again. Combing back. And just kind of blending in these corners here. Just like so. So, with the clipper, I'm going to take it in just a little bit more, which is his top crown here. I'm going to take it in just a little bit more. As you can see, I'm just gliding, gliding, gliding. And I'm not taking much off, because I am going to go over it with some scissor work. So, can you do the entire top with scissors alone? Yes. But I'm just using this kind of like as a reference to there is a variety in which you can execute someone's haircut. And I'm just kind of mixing the two. So I'm essentially doing clipper work over most of it and some scissor work to finish it off. So if you notice, I kind of went going this way. I went going that way. Kind of straight forward and back. Just kind of blending it down all right there. use the brush just to kind of comb that back a little bit. So, on a technicality, now his front is technically longer than this shape and form as you can see here. And some people like it that way, but I'm still going to scissor it down just a little bit here. I'm going to wet his hair down here, safeguarding the forehead. Now I'm going to use the scissors to kind of just pick up where I left off, which is basically here going forward. I'm going to pick up where I left off with the scissors. So about right here, I'm going to pick up. Pick up. I'm just going to do a light trim here. Very little bit, if you can tell. Very little. My buddy Hector likes to wear the front just a little bit longer, so I'm not going to cut too much off the front. After all, I am going to texture it in. And the same principle that I always do, kind of just cutting towards the middle going forward. I already cut the middle, going that way, establishing a guide. Maybe comb it this way a little bit to pick it up. And there is a minute guide there. If you can see it, it's right there. You can see that. It's minute, but it's there. Just a little bit. There we go, just a little bit. So I cut the center, then I cut the right, now I'm going to cut the left. I divided his top into 3, finding my center cut right there. It's not much, but it's a little bit. There we go. Now, I'm going to push his hair forward. Just push it forward, flip it up. Push it forward. So right here is where it gets tricky. Right here towards the front. And what happens is that it kind of bunches up and it curls in right there. So what I'm going to do is just a little bit of texturizing. And I'm going to leave this front right here. Leave that alone. And right here is where it kind of bunches up there. So I'm just going to do some freehand chopping movements here, just to give it a little bit of texture right there. Just kind of bunches up a little bit there. Lifting up with my comb. Then I'll push that up to see if that meets it. And then just texturizing the front just a little bit. You can use the comb just like this. It's not a lot of work. Just a tiny bit, just kind of a chop, chop, chop type of movement here. So I'm pushing his hair forward. And now that the hair is wet, I'm going to comb it this way. And what's going to happen is on this side here, there's going to be kind of like a little lip exposed here, like a little ridge right there. Now, if a person were to cut the hair dry, leave it dry, and customer goes on his own without double checking this, chances are when your customer showers, gets out of the shower, we'll find a little corner or ridge here. So while it was dry, I blended it down. Now that it's wet, I'll blend it down again. That's just my way of double checking my work. I'm just doing the same thing here. Just retouching that, not too much. Now I'm going to comb the other direction. The other direction here. Same thing. If you can angle there, you can see there's just kind of a little ridge there. Little ridge. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just a little bit there. There we go. All right. So now, At this length, he can comb it straight back if he wanted to. Straight back, he has the option to comb it straight back, or if he wanted to, kind of do a messy spike going this way here. There we go. And you can pause, Mike. Happy 4th of July, guys. I just want to send you some blessings from Matt's Barber Parlor. And this is how we're going to finish off our night, with a little bit of cupcakes and some hot dogs and some good fellowship before we go home. Have a great 4th of July, everybody.
I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July and stay safe and don't drink Corona.
Also, thank Matthew for this fresh-ass haircut. In Arizona, we're #1, America!
America, bitch! All right, let's light, let's light.
We're lighting them now?
Yes!
Oh.
This is not the practice? It's not the practice?
No, that was it.
All right.
Careful.
Dude, we are